Hello everybody and welcome to Sweet Poppy Stencils May Inspiration Day. It's Rosemary here from the design team. Today I'd like to share this card with you. Our theme for today was to use some new products. So I've used this stamp. So I hope you like my card. I thought it'd make a nice Mother's Day card because of the baby lamb, or maybe Mother's Day card. Haven't thought of anything else, but I'm sure there's lots and lots of things that you could use it for. Maybe Happy Grandparents' Day. So to start with, I've got a 14.5-inch piece of Sweet Poppy Stencils Bockingford watercolour card. This is lovely card for watercolouring, and I'm going to be using the watercolour pens, so that's the ideal card to use. I've got a piece of backing paper that's 15.5 centimetres, and my card blank is 17.5 centimetres. So they're the pieces of card that you need today, and I'll explain other things that we need as we go along, but I'll also put a list on the page for you, so you have a list of what you need. So we're going to start with our Bockingford card and our stamping platform. I'm sorry, my stamping platform's a bit scruffy now. I don't know why it's gone all fuzzy up there, but it still does the trick. So I'm placing my card so it's at the base there, so I know it's nice and straight. And put my magnetic things on there. And this is our sheep stamp. So I'm going to place the stamp in the centre of the card, which is about there, making sure it's nice and straight. And press down on my stamp to pick it up. And then I'm going to be using VersaFine Clair Nocturne. I'm going to be embossing the card with clear embossing powder as well. Not the card, the image, sorry. I'm going to be embossing my image with clear embossing powder. So, whoops, I'm going to stamp this onto our card. Just gently pressing down. Just press down a little bit in the centre. Oops. Bit of fluff. So over my VersaFine clear ink, I'm actually going to use some Versamark. This is called Versamark Dazzle, but it still does the same job. This is my one for using with dark colours. So if I'm using black or grey or a darker colour, I use this one, because it's going on top of a black image, so I don't mind that it's got a bit dirty. Press that down. I'm just going to do that twice. I like to make sure. And over we go. So now we're going to get our embossing powder. And I've decanted my big clear embossing powder into a little pot, so I find it easier. Sometimes I drop the whole lot with my dodgy fingers. There we tap it down. You're going to put it back in the pot, so it doesn't matter how much you use. Just want to make sure that the whole image is covered, and then just give it a gentle tap, and all the excess powder will come off. And put that back in our pot before we heat up our image. We can put that away now. So this is Wow Clear Embossing Powder. And we're now going to heat up our image. You should see it gently start melting and going darker. If we have a quick check, you'll know if you've missed anywhere, because you'll see sort of like a dull area. If you keep flickering it in the light, you can see it has like a shine on it. So now, because that's hot, I didn't want to use a hot one, so I'm going, because we're going to stamp again now. So this has also been embossed. The reason I embossed it was because I'm putting the daffodils. I wanted the daffodils to be behind, so I thought if I emboss it, it makes the fence look like it's at the front. So it gives you more of a 3D effect, I think. So we're going to now stamp our daffodils. So we're going to place that down the bottom again. Put that there. Now I'm going to mask off my sheep and the fence. So I've made a paper mask. I've cut this little bit out here because I need to get some blue in there behind my sheep. So I've used low tack tape on the back, sort of like it's called painter's tape. And it's a little bit stickier than normal masking tape, so it works quite well. So we're just holding some of this in place. And now we're going to stamp our daffodils. So as you can see, I've had 2 on the right hand side and 1 in the bud on the left hand side. So we're going to... I'm looking at that one for guidance, so I can sort of get it in the right area. So we're still using our VersaFine Clear black ink. I did the first one in grey, and I found that the black ink makes the images pop more, so that's why I changed it to black. So let me, so you can see. So I'm looking at these 2 flowers here, so I'm going to ink them up. So we're stamping our first daffodils now. And then I just lift to make sure my images come out totally behind, and it's touching the fence as well. I don't have no gaps. So that's our first image done, and I'm going to move it over this side. Now on this side, on the left hand side, as you can see, I've just got the daffodil poking out from behind the fence, a little bit of a leaf there, and the bud. So we're going to do that now. So once again, I'm just going to place it. So I'm using my leaf as my guide, and I'm happy with that. Okay. So now when I'm inking up, I know that I need to ink this part here. So I'm inking this bud and the flower. And that, yeah, that leaf, that's it. I don't need this bud at all, so and there we go. Fine, perfect. So we've finished with our mask. So far this is our image that we've got. And now we're going to do the background. We're going to do the sky and the grassy area. So just going to do the sky and the grassy area. Right, so here's an image that I've done earlier. I just wanted to have my daffodils, maybe called them butterflies then. I wanted to have my daffodils dry. And because I'm using Versamark, they take quite a while. So, right, so we need our masking back again. Because we're now going to do some colouring in of our background. So I'm just going to mask off the flowers. And again, I've just got painter's tape on the back of these. So I'm going to start on this side with my blue. So I'm using Lucy's new brushes. These brushes are from Sweet Poppy Stencils, and they're quite new. So we're going to be using the largest of the three. There's 3 different sizes, and this is the largest one of the 3. And we're just going, I'm using Archival London Blue. And we're just going to be using the blue on our brush. Oh, what we do need is a piece of paper under our image. So I'm just going to dab off the first part of the blue, and then I'm just going to gently bring it in. So I can bring it over to this side. I haven't masked off that daffodil yet, but I will in a moment when I've done this side. So we're just gradually going round in a circular motion. I'm going to bring it down to as far as where the grass area, so where the mask for the fence ends is where I'm going to bring it down to, the blue. And then I'm going to pick up my daffodil, and as you can see, my daffodil has stayed white. I'm not pressing hard at all. I'm pressing very, very gently with this brush. I'm not even pressing really, I'm just guiding it along. So we've got our daffodil and our bud there. Just place them on there like that. Press down. Sometimes you might have to manoeuvre these little ones just to hold them in place. But once again, you just use your circular motions and go round. So I'm just going to gently brush over, get some blue sky in the background there. There we go. I won't remove the image yet because I'll need to do the grassy area. So now we're going to use archival ink called Cut Grass. And I'm using a medium-sized brush for the cut grass because we've only got to cover a small area. So once again, we're going to hold down and we're just going to blend it into the sky. And there we go. So now we can remove our mask and we're left with our image with its background already done. So I've got quite a lot of white down the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently go over the area just to get it up to where the grass is. There we go. For our colouring, I've used Sweet Poppy Stencils watercolour brushes. So I've used some from set 1 and some from set 2. I'll show you the colours as we go along. So I'm going to start with the fence. So for the fence, I'm using, let's get my colours right. Not that one, it's a bit too dark. Right. Right, so I'm using these two. So that's the colours on the end of the tips. Okay. So we're using the lighter colour first. Yes, we're using the whole fence in the lighter colour. So we also need our Zig pen. This is a real brush pen and it just has a clear liquid in it that you can use to move your ink. So we're just going to do the fence. I'm not going to talk through the video for this part. I'm just going to do a little bit here. And then I'm going to fast forward it. So as you can see, our brush pen will move the ink along for you as well. And it helps us to get different colour tones into each colour. So you can have some light areas and some dark areas. And then we're going to do some highlighting with the darker colour in a little while. So I'm just going to go off now and fast forward this bit and I'll come back to you in a little while. So that's our fence done. So now we're going to do our daffodils. So we've got, now I know this one from set 1 is called Daffodil. And this one is a little bit darker. So we've got bright yellow, which is Daffodil. And these are both from, this one, Daffodil, is from set 1. That's the lighter yellow. And then this one is like a banana-y colour, I think. So for our daffodil, I'm going to start with the darker one. And I'm going to start on the what I call the trumpets of the daffodil. So I'm going to put some of the darker yellow down around the trumpet area. Oh, wrong brush. And then I'm going to use my watercolour brush, my water pen, to drag the colour out so it gets paler as it comes to the tips. I want it to look a little bit darker in the middle, so I'm just going to add a little bit of darker ink. Then drag that out a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to do the other two trumpets and then I'll fast forward it as well. So I'm just going to do the darker orange, the darker yellow, sorry, on the underneath of the trumpets. Just going to colour them in. Okay. And also on this bit that's coming out here, just going to do that bit as well. That's our daffodil coming through the bud. So I'm just going to, using the paler yellow to do, but I'm just going to go round the edge so we get darker, just to show where the shadow is. Very fine line round there. Oh, I won't. And then I'm just going to drag that out a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with the brighter yellow. I'm going to do these the same way for all three daffodils. So now it gives us sort of like a shadowy effect underneath the petals, the trumpet. And their petals are nice bright yellow. So now we're going to move on to our grassy area. It's our last part of our... I've got 3 greens. I don't know whether I'll use all 3, but I've got 3. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use. I think I use... so this one is quite dark. And this one's very pale. I think that's a nice daffodil green colour. So I'm going to use the lighter green, the middle one, this one, for the daffodil leaves. And then I'm just going to use the darker colour as the line. Okay, so I think we'll use the dark green, too dark, she says, for the grass. And we could make these little buds here. They could be different flowers coming out. I'll just give them a bit of colour. And the last thing that we need to do, if you wish, is to just highlight our sheep. So you can see that I've just given our sheep a little bit of colour. So we need our water brush. Let's clean that off. It's amazing how quickly it cleans off. So I just basically highlighted the areas that are darker. So I followed around with these little squiggly bits. Not too much, just a little bit. Tried to give them a little bit of colour. And the same with the lamb. Oh, cute little lamb. And then I just basically blobbed so it sort of spread out a little bit, but not too much. You can actually pick the colour up and spread it out a little bit. And there we are. That's our finished topper. And then we can just place it on top of our card. I'm going to edge the card in black like I have with this one. I'm also going to edge the topper in black as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching my video, and I look forward to showing you a new one next month. Have a wonderful bank holiday weekend. Hope to see you all soon. Bye.